Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Comic Book Syndicate. This is your co-host Mike L. The whole cast is not here, but hey, at least Bex Luthor is here, right?
Yeah, like I'd missed this one.
Woo! That's right.
Whoa!
Captain Marvel is one of your favorites, right? In the comic books?
Love Carol Danvers with all of my heart. She was one of the first characters I related to, and she will forever be my comic book wife.
Yes.
So.
And you have cosplayed as her many times, correct?
In many different outfits, yes.
Right, nice. And what's your favorite outfit again?
I like her black bathing suit one with the high boots and the lightning bolt. Yeah, like I think that's her third-ish one. Second or third. But like the one that Janet Van Dyne makes for her, and she just sticks with for most of the early 2000s at least, until she then becomes Captain Marvel. So like her Miss Marvel stuff.
I think that one was introduced in the 70s though, right?
Yeah, she had it for a long, long time.
Right, okay.
But she didn't get her own run until, like, Secret Invasion era, right? Well, she had her own run, but, like...
Yeah,
this is the run that I...
Yeah, she had the 70s one that was canceled, then she kind of disappeared for a while, then she became Warbird, then she went back to being Ms. Marvel, then she became Captain Marvel, right?
Yeah.
It's very confusing. When I tried to read up on like the history of her, and then she was binary, and then the other Captain Marvel became binary. That threw me off.
Yeah, we'll talk about that because
I
was like, but yeah, she was binary because like that's when her powers like go crazy, and she's been retconned a million times. And she's like super entwined with the X-Men because of Rogue, but then like. She got pushed to the side because then the X-Men are like, in the early 2000s, everyone likes the X-Men. But yeah, poor Carol, what a life. And then Marvel died like the third time, and she was like, I'll be Captain Marvel, and that seems to be what we're sticking with. Yeah, sorry, Marvel.
Yeah, well, so now we are here to talk about the second Captain Marvel movie, which actually co-stars Monica Rambeau and Kamala Khan, Ms. Marvel. It's called The Marvels. Everyone's seen it. If you're watching this review, well, actually, it's funny you should mention that. Only half of the cast of this show has seen it, which I think is indicative of, the rest of, the Western world. Not a lot of people are seeing this movie. It's been basically labeled the death knell of Marvel. Now everyone's ready to shit on Marvel.
Yeah, but I mean, every other movie is the death of Marvel at this point, right? So it wasn't worse than Ant-Man. Let's just say that. That's true.
I'll definitely agree with you on that. Yeah, let's just talk about this. Everyone knows the plot. Ugh. Should we summarize it very quickly in 35 seconds?
All of their powers get intertwined, and then they do swapping for like the first half, and then the second half they fight the big bad guy who is mad at something Carol did in the past, and then everyone's friends. And then Monica dies, kind of. Not really, she's back. And
then, we'll talk about the spoiler. We'll save that for the end, okay? Wait. There's also cats, yeah. But the spoiler we'll save for the end, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about that later.
Absolutely.
So, here's the thing.
I liked it.
I'll just, we'll get to that, yeah. I'll just say that, since I've actually, I don't know about you, but I have not been watching all the Marvel TV shows, okay? So I skipped, as you know, What If? I skipped She-Hulk.
That's sad.
Yeah, I skipped Loki Season 2.
Oh, that's really sad.
And then I might have skipped another one that I'm forgetting about. But, so going to see this movie was actually, I was a little bit starved for Marvel content. So when the opening... scenes happened or whatever, credits rolled, I was like, oh, here we go. I'm ready for my Marvel fix. But about 5 minutes into this movie, I honestly started getting confused about what the story was supposed to be about. And I love the expression on your face right now because I know that we're on two totally different pages, but it lost me. And I kept wanting, like, then I thought, oh, well, then when Kamala comes in, okay, here we go. But it felt like, well, you know when a TV show does a crossover and it's like, Cheers meets Seinfeld, and it's never the same. It felt like that. It felt like different writers were trying to write these characters, and it didn't quite mesh to me. And so I didn't like the scenes with their parents. I didn't think they were funny. I don't know, and it just didn't really get much better for me. What was your impression of the opening?
Dude, I don't remember what happened. What happened?
Okay. So wait a minute. Maybe we are on the same page.
I don't think I disliked it as heavily as you. I had a good time.
Okay.
Watching this movie. And it also has my favorite MCU scene of all time in it. So, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
No one's gonna guess. I mean, maybe people could guess. I like garbage, so why wouldn't it be my favorite scene of the whole movie? But I think the three lead actors had so much charisma with one another, and then they were given nothing.
That I will agree with.
They were like, everyone was... I loved the dynamic. And there was no plot behind it.
Well, here's the thing is that if there was chemistry, I let me put it this way. Okay, here's an example. I love Ricky Gervais, okay? I've watched The Office. Then I watched a movie he did. I don't remember what it was called. It was his first movie, but it was not funny. And I was trying to analyze why it wasn't funny, and I think it's because a TV show works better for his humor, and I think the same thing was happening here, where the people, or the director of this movie, I don't remember her name, I'll look it up in a minute, it's like she didn't know how to stage them. And so when they were interacting with each other, and when they were doing the jumping, what's it called, jump rope or whatever?
Yeah, when they were skipping.
Skip rope. It's like it was not filmed right. It was not filmed properly, and if it was done more like a TV show, almost like a set, like just let the actors, let them be, let them interact, let them be funny. But instead, it's like they were trying to cut and get close-ups, and they were trying to cut and be funny, and it felt like they were killing the spontaneity. And I could see what they were trying to do with scenes like that, but none of it worked for me. And that's what it felt like. It's like it was too polished and too produced and too big to let the actors be funny. That's what I think the main problem was. And as far as the plot, like you said, yeah, like, was there a plot? Like, oh boy.
She kills the supreme intelligence, and that is the plot. Is like then a bunch of people die, and some people are mad about it. It's like, that could have been a movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's the movie. That's the movie.
When I was watching the movie, I was like, did I miss something? Like, that's such a big thing. Like, did I miss it? Oh, another thing, I didn't watch Secret Invasion. So then I thought...
That's fine.
Okay, because then I was like, well, maybe that happened in Secret Invasion. When did this happen? No, it's just a flashback to a scene that's like gigantic, and it should be gigantic in this franchise, but it's just a flashback. Like, why was that not the opening scene of the movie? And then it's like the consequences of the rest of the movie.
Yeah, and like the Kree Civil War that happens afterwards is a big driving point of the movie. Like, Carol is set in her ways, and maybe the other two come in. Like, Kamala comes in and is like, you're killing people. Like, this isn't right. Like, just because the Supreme Intelligence was evil and controlling them, that's not how you like there. It could have been something. But then we get Dar-Ben, who is like a footnote of a Kree warrior character, whose name I had to look up. I didn't remember it. And I think she's fully justified. Girl, go off. Like, just nobody's relationship was really, like, I wish the first half of this movie is Carol and Dar-Ben's relationship. They could have, like, had an interaction, and then Carol kills the Supreme Intelligence, and then everything gets set in motion. But
You're right.
Instead, it's literally like a scene, and you see this big Supreme Intelligence, and I'm like, oh, sick, and then it's just dead. Gone. Nothing.
The thing, no, you hit the nail on the head. It's kind of like, remember Green Lantern?
Every day.
They open Green Lantern. They open Green Lantern with Parallax. The stupidest possible way to open a movie. And with this movie, they kind of did it backwards, where they should have opened this movie with the like you said, it's like, this is the plot of the movie should have been here. It's like an Obi-Wan Anakin thing, what's her name again, the bad guy, the bad girl, Dar-Ben, and Captain Marvel are friends. They have a quick adventure, but during this adventure, Captain Marvel knows something that Dar-Benn doesn't, so then she kills this Ream Intelligence, but Dar-Benn misunderstands. She vows revenge. There's the opening 20 minutes, right? Then we go to the next scene. Then we go to the next scene, and it's all natural, but instead it seems like they went, okay, we have to have these three in the movie. How can we force that to happen at the beginning? So they open with Monica Rambeau, and then they kind of first of all, the way that they swap bodies did nothing for me. I know that it was supposed to be outrageous and funny, but it didn't really work for me at all. Anytime it was happening, I didn't enjoy it. I didn't think it was funny. And then when the aliens came into the living room, and then when they were all fighting them, it just did nothing for me. I don't know. I just felt like it was like an order given from on high, and then the writers and directors tried to fit it into the movie, and then they tried to jam in all of the other stuff they wanted to do, and then we got what we got.
I don't think I disliked it as much as you did, because I really like the actors who play Kamala's family a lot.
Okay.
And you watched Miss Marvel, right?
I actually, it's one of my favorite Marvel shows. Yeah, it's great.
They are not the same in this movie, which is unfortunate. But there's the actors clearly know that they're playing the same characters, right? So there's little bits and pieces of them there. Like when Kamala's holding up Goose and he's just flirting out. I like that because they're all like just screaming, and it felt a little bit more like the show. But I like the swapping. I like the choreography of the swapping once they like figured it out. I don't think that they did enough with the swapping. They were like, okay, we swap places, and now we figured it out, and we're all together. Okay.
Well, it's almost like it's a perfect opportunity for humor that they didn't exploit, right?
Yeah.
Like someone's in the middle of a shower, or someone's in the middle of a date, or someone, right? But they didn't exploit it enough. You're right. It's like, oh, we figured it out, and now we've just turned it into one of our powers almost.
They figured it out within like an hour of it happening. They're like, oh, we're swapping places with these other two people. Mm-hmm. And then they're all in the same location.
Yeah, right. And then, oh my gosh. And then, again, it's not that I hated this movie, but then they go down to that other planet in the third act. And Carol Danvers is kind of like hesitant. She's like, oh, I don't know if we should go there. Okay, fine, we'll go. But just so you know. And then I appreciate what they were trying to do. Like, let's have a crazy little excursion onto this planet where it's all like everyone's singing, you know, it's like a bad episode of Star Trek Next Generation. Okay, fine. But again, it just felt like throwing crap at a wall and seeing what sticks. Didn't you feel that way, or did you enjoy that?
I think there should have been more setup to the planet. There should have been more like Carol is secretly a princess.
Yeah.
Instead of like, we're just, we have to now go to this planet where I'm secretly a princess. Like the acts in this movie are so specifically defined that the transitions don't flow as well. And like now we're on this planet. Now we're on this planet. And this planet doesn't have anything to do with that planet. It felt very stiff in its...
Well, yeah. Now, what if, okay, for example, if it's like you said, like what if at some point they notice something about Carol and she's trying to hide it, so that when you get to the revelation that she is a princess, then all those other things make sense. Oh, I remember when Carol was hiding her wardrobe or hiding the jewelry she had, or maybe we caught her singing and didn't know why she was singing, something like that. But no, it's just, oh, by the way, I'm also married, you know.
Yeah, there wasn't, for a movie that was focused on the relationship between these three people, they did not explore it enough. There should have been more time with it where they were just together, like instead of one scene on the ship. Because I love that scene actually, when they're all like talking to one another and realizing how like similar they are, not beyond just their powers, and like what is connecting them together in the grand scheme of things. I like that. And I think a lot of it is also because what's her name? Iman Vellani? Is that her name?
Yes.
Is fantastic. And
I love her, yeah.
And you can even see that in like all of the reviews. People are like, this movie sucks, but... And then there's always little asterisks, and she is the standout.
Right.
And it's because Kamala's character is so outrageous.
Right.
That she just is allowed to play, and I wish the other two were allowed to play more. Like, we're going to the K-pop planet. Can we be a little bit wackier? I don't know. It just... We were singing, and then we weren't.
Yeah, because everyone's singing, and then the one guy is just talking, right?
Because he's bilingual.
But don't you think it's a cop-out?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh, never mind that thing we just set up for 20 minutes. I'm bilingual. Like, okay.
It would have been funnier if he kept singing and, like, was part of the crew, and then, like, a half an hour in after that, he stops singing and answers Kamala or something and is like,
yes.
Oh, yeah, I'm bilingual. Don't worry about it.
You're
like,
totally
as a joke,
right.
Instead of to just retcon the whole singing language.
Yeah, you're totally right. That's a good point.
Like, then that could have been funny. Because he's like, obviously, I don't have to sing.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, that fight on that planet...
I don't even remember it.
It was pretty.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is the movie looked good. Like, in places, the movie looked good. It was brightly colored, which I always appreciate.
Oh, yeah, I did. I liked, like, all the planets. We weren't in the dark for this whole movie.
Yes.
Even though we were in space a lot, which I liked.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to film everything at night. Appreciate that.
Good point.
So that's a plus.
Well, okay, so we just talked about Iman Vellani. Let's talk about I don't know how to pronounce her name, but Teyonah Parris, who played Monica Rambeau. I think the problem I had in this movie and the last one is that, again, they don't give her much to do. I don't know if this is supposed to be her character, that she's kind of humorless, but if it is supposed to be her character, again, they didn't play it off the other two. It just seemed like she was doing nothing. What did you think?
Yeah, she was the disappointed middle sister, kind of, and her older sister and her younger sister get all the attention and everything, and she just is kind of there, which is unfortunate because in WandaVision, I loved her character. And also, like, here's the thing. Carol's her aunt who, like, basically never came back. Her mom's dead. Like, there's so much to explore here. There's so much emotion that could have been conveyed, but it was mostly like, hey, you didn't come back. Yeah. Well, mom died. Yeah. Yeah, she did. And Marvel's got to stop doing this. Everyone's mom doesn't need to die from cancer, okay? Mm-hmm. I'm just having a hard time with the relatability of some of these movies.
Mm-hmm.
But I digress. There's so much in this movie that could have been so good. But, like, I don't know if it needed to be longer, if it needed to be a show, if it needed to be 2 movies, if we needed to maybe wait until the writer's strike is over, rewrite it, refilm it.
Well, you know, somebody pointed out, and I don't know if this is true, though, like, and they said, oh, it's so obvious that Secret Invasion was supposed to be the next Captain Marvel movie, and they just rewrote it. I don't know if that's
her in it.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's true.
Basically.
Okay.
So, basically, Secret Invasion is just about Nick Fury, which makes no sense. If you've seen the first Captain Marvel movie.
Sure.
And then this movie, The Marvels, now makes no sense because of what happens in Secret Invasion. So that show must have been completely just retconned. Like, just...
Right.
And then, not to spoil or anything, but you don't need to go back and watch Secret Invasion. But, like, basically at the end of Secret Invasion, they have a character that just has Carol's powers. And I'm like, oh, so it was supposed to be Captain Marvel the whole time. Obviously. And we're supposed to explore her relationship with promising the Kree homeworld. And that's why in this movie, that's a big deal. But we don't, so it's not.
Wow. You know, Marvel's had little problems like this over the years where there's little continuity glitches and you're like, wait, oh, okay. And they kind of just gloss over it. But those cracks seem to be getting bigger and bigger. And I definitely don't want to be... I'm not on this bandwagon of thinking that, everything after Endgame is sucked. I don't think that. I just think that maybe because they're not building to a climax anymore. Like, I know the climax was supposed to be Kang, but now I don't even know if that's going to happen now, right?
Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But I think what's the problem is these standalone stories are constantly involving the rest of the universe. So the Avengers movies, that's when everyone comes together and it's about the whole universe. But everyone's standalone movie doesn't need to have crossovers in it. It's like Iron Man 1, 2, and 3 is about Iron Man.
Yep.
This movie's not even called Captain Marvel 2.
Right, right.
Like, the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is about what's happening to the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Agreed.
Just them. And yeah, the overarching universe, like Thor's at the beginning because we was with them, but we quickly get rid of that and it's just about them and their story. And I think a lot of the problem is when we're bringing everything into every movie. Like, it can exist in the universe without having to showcase every aspect of that universe in it.
I totally agree. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm not even necessarily a fan. Like, when you say even universe, it doesn't even have to be the universe. It can be the whole world. The point is that the scale does not have to be big. It can just be about these 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 characters, not everybody. And when you have a movie like this that does affect the whole galaxy or the whole universe, it doesn't make sense to then not bring everybody in because everyone's affected, right? It should just be smaller scale. So yeah, it's just... they did a lot of things wrong. And, to be honest, when they announced that it was going to be called Marvels, my first thought was, they panicked because the first Ms. Marvel movie the first Captain Marvel movie actually did make money, but maybe didn't make as much as they wanted to. And so, okay, we're going to bring in Ms. Marvel because that was a hit show. We're going to bring in Monica Rambeau. But I was surprised that it was called Marvels and not Captain Marvel 2 or whatever. So I thought that was like a little bit of a panic,
And there's nothing that said that these characters couldn't have interacted because, their stories are completely intertwined. But maybe Kamala shouldn't have even been in this. Maybe it should have been about Carol's relationship with Monica and leaving Earth and her best friend dying and all of that. Like, maybe it should have been just about that relationship. And then in Miss Marvel Season 2, maybe Carol comes back to Earth and we can develop that relationship. Like, I think it was just too much all gooped together, so nothing had enough time to kind of flesh out. Right. And then we had a world-ending disaster also on top of it. Right. Which didn't make any sense. Like you said, like well, where's everybody else? If the world's there's a black hole sucking the world's atmosphere or whatever the hell was going on. Yeah. The sun. They were taking the sun.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Where's Thor? Where's Iron? Well, not Iron Man's dead, but you get my
he's
point.
Dead. Yeah, where's literally the rest of them?
Right. Right. Well, also, I always like to talk about how I drink coffee whenever I watch a movie, and I always go to the bathroom. Yeah. So there's always 2 minutes that I lose, always.
Can confirm.
Yes. But when I came back, not only did I not know what was going on, but I never recovered. Like, because I came back right at the part where they were using the cat to eat all the people.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and I was like, what the hell is going on? And it took me so long to figure it out.
So then I think you missed my favorite part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Okay. You can tell us what it was then.
So, in the movie, they have to evacuate the space station. Sure. But they don't have enough escape pods to do it.
Okay.
However, Goose has been on this space station the whole time laying Flurkin eggs. Because Flurkins reproduce asexually and also lay eggs.
Okay.
That's in the comics as well.
Sure.
Because Goose in the comics' name is Chewie, and she's the last Flurkin until she has 1 million Flurkin babies and they go all over the galaxy. But in this one, she just lays all of her eggs all over the Sword space station.
Okay.
And then, so they all hatch into little baby Flurkittens, which, very, very cute. And because they're out of space pods, Nick Fury's like, hold on a second, we have 1 evacuation pod. What if the Flurkittens eat all of the crew because they all have pocket dimensions in their stomachs, right? That's what goes on inside of Goose. So the kittens run around and start devouring all of these, all of the crew members so that they can carry all the kittens in the escape pod instead of all of the people and take them down to Earth safely. While this is happening, Memories from Cats is playing. And it is it is a cinematic masterpiece of a moment. Any flaws in this movie are forgiven because all of a sudden I'm singing Memories from Cats in a theater, watching my wife and a bunch of baby cats.
Okay.
And my heart just explodes for whoever made that decision. That's so good.
Were you laughing and crying and
screaming? The lyrics from Memories from Cats? Yes.
See, here's the problem is even if I saw that, I wouldn't recognize the song.
That's why I think it's so good. One, you should. It's Cats.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Okay.
It's Cats, the musical. It's one of the most famous musicals of all times. Mm-hmm. And that's the most famous song from it. You never saw Cats 2019, I'm assuming?
No, I did not. Nope.
Unfortunate, but also don't.
Okay.
It's just, it hits this part of me that loves, that I was 6 and I loved Cats and I loved Miss Marvel.
Gotcha.
And now I'm 30 and I'm in a theater singing Cats with Miss Marvel, and it's just all of my small, weird hyperfixations coming into one. And that's all I have to say about it. Because really, this movie could have done anything else, and I don't give a shit, because that happened. And that's...
Okay.
That's my favorite thing that's ever happened, maybe in a movie. It's
okay.
Beautiful. It was a beautiful merging of moments.
Yeah, it's one of those things whenever a movie... It's just like when I heard We Care a Lot in... Which movie was that in?
Was it Guardians?
Guardians of the Galaxy. When they hit on something obscure that you feel like, oh, wait a minute, I'm the only one that gets this. I mean, I'm sure there was other people in the theater that got it. Was there anyone else singing?
No, just me.
Okay.
And then my partner looks at me and is like, what are you doing? And I'm like, this is Cats. Hello.
But you probably appreciated it more than anyone else in that theater, right? So
tears of joy.
Right.
Maybe my favorite, myself, I've had really great movie-going experiences in theaters as a group, but this is my favorite personal movie-going experience. Because I could not stop myself from singing. And, I can't sing. And that's a hard song. And I did not, in that moment, care.
That didn't stop you. Awesome. Good for you.
So, and then also, there's kittens. That's cute.
Yeah, so that scene threw me off.
And then you missed it and then came back. It was like, what's going on?
What is going on? Oh boy. So it was kind of hard to recover after that. But
yeah, I can see why.
Yeah. I guess I picked the wrong time.
The kittens are just throwing everyone up.
Right. So I didn't quite know what was going on. I figured it out eventually, but oh boy. Let's talk about the actress that played... Hold on a sec, where is she here? Zawa Ashton. She played Darben.
That's Tom Hiddleston's wife.
Really? Okay, interesting.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I know they're in a relationship. I saw that today. I didn't know they were married. Oh, engaged. They're engaged.
Okay. Yeah, close enough.
So I just thought that, because I've seen her before. She was in Doctor Who. I've seen her in other things. Mm-hmm. I just thought that she was, well, for lack of a better term, she was too nice. It was hard to see her as the villain. What did you think, you know?
Because she's like, hey, Carol, the thing that you did destroyed my home and everyone in it, and I'm trying to save them. Yeah, right. It's killing other people, but I'm also trying to save them. And she's like, no.
Right.
It was hard to be like, oh, she's a bad guy. And then at the end of the movie, when Carol's like, I'll help you fix the planet, I thought, oh, that's so cool. It's like she's going to get retribution, and she's also going to not be a bad guy anymore because Carol's now going to help fix the mistake. And then she's like, nah, I'm just going to be bad, and goes after her again, and just doesn't take the... I don't know. I'm upset that, one, we didn't get more of her and Carol's relationship, and two, that she didn't get redemption at the end, because I think she deserved it. She was just trying to save her people.
Right, good point.
Like, after somebody else destroyed her whole world, and she didn't know that the Supreme Intelligence was controlling everything. Carol didn't tell people this, that, like, they were being controlled.
Right.
All they know is Carol Danvers, the Destroyer, whatever they call her, killed their god, and then everything went to shit.
Yeah.
They couldn't breathe on their planet, Carol.
So yeah, as I've said, the plot confused me. The whole thing about anything to do with Nick Fury confused me. It just, not to say it was confusing, but it just didn't pull me in. It like pushed me out, you know? So
here's... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, you didn't watch Secret Invasion, so you didn't have to watch Samuel Jackson's Nick Fury die in front of your eyes. He didn't actually die, but like his character was mutilated and destroyed, and every line he had was terrible.
Mm-hmm, I believe
and
it.
awful, and his character was just beyond saving. And then he came in this movie, and I watched his rebirth, and I was like, oh, right. I thought I'm supposed to like Nick Fury.
Mm-hmm. He's
supposed to be cool and badass, and I forgot that because Secret Invasion was so bad.
Right, I believe it.
But it still wasn't the best.
Mm-hmm.
But I still laughed a couple times. So
he was okay, but here's the thing.
There was a good scene when like Monica learns to fly for the first time and goes up, and they think she's coming they think it's Kamala coming crashing down back onto the Earth and dying, and then it's just Carol hits the ground, and then Nick Fury goes, "Oh, it's okay, it's Carol."
Yeah, that was funny. That was good.
That.
Yeah, I like that. That was good.
But
there was a couple other things. There was a couple things I liked, obviously, but
because the actors are so good at their characters, that I just felt bad for them because I was like, this isn't fair. They deserve a redo.
Yeah. Well, okay, here's the thing. So now, spoiler alert, we're going to talk about the secret endings, the post-credit sequences, okay? So the movie's going on, the movie is a mess, the movie ends, and then we don't even have a post-credit sequence. We just have the ending of the movie, where all of a sudden it's just Kamala, right? Mm-hmm. And she shows up at, what's her name?
Kate Bishop's.
Kate Bishop's apartment.
Yeah.
To recruit her for this team.
Her Young Avengers team.
She's putting together the Young Avengers. So now Kamala Khan has taken over Ms. Marvel's movie. She's also the first mutant, and now she's forming the Young Avengers. Right?
Marvel's realized, they're like, people like this actress and this character. Better make her the center of the universe now, because we've lost the thing that people like. Yeah. Like, Iron Man's gone, Cap's gone, like, everybody's gone. But people have really, like, whatever you want to say about any of the other Marvel properties, I've liked most of them. But people really like her Miss Marvel, and for good reason. It is fantastic.
Right.
So they're like, we're going to just build the universe off of it, because we don't know what else to do.
Right.
And I'm very upset that that's how we're getting our Young Avengers. They should have been just formed naturally. I don't like the regular Avengers.
The thing is, to be honest, I've never read the Young Avengers comics, so I don't know much about it. But these are not the Young Avengers, right? Like Ms. Marvel, Hawkeye.
Kate Bishop's the Young Avenger.
Okay.
And so is America Chavez.
Okay, and she has been.
Was in Doctor Strange.
Okay, yeah, but she's been confirmed as being part of this team, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And also both of Scarlet Witch's children, I'm pretty sure, Wiccan and Speed, who we've seen.
Right.
But don't exist in this universe, but, we've seen.
Right.
Miss Marvel, I think I don't know, I mean, I haven't read every Young Avengers comic, but she was on, like, Avengers teams with, like, Iron Man and Miles Morales, Spider-Man, and Mighty Thor, but, like, it was, like, a mix of, like, young heroes and older heroes, which is my favorite version of it.
Right.
So they're just like, nah, screw it, she's the leader.
Sure,
which,
right.
I don't know, I think Kate worked as a leader. So
Yeah, I think first of all, I actually really like the Hawkeye show, and it's because
I do too.
it was a good show, and she was great. Kate Bishop was great. So we'll see how it plays out. But again, that felt like a post-credit sequence, not the ending of Ms. Marvel or Captain Marvel 2.
It was absolutely should have been after all of the credits.
Right.
It's basically the exact same scene from the end of Iron Man.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So...
But it's like they lost faith in the climax itself. So they're like, oh, let's just shove this back a little bit so it feels like this is the climax of the movie. Right? But then... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, yeah, because it doesn't have anything to do with the movie. It's an after-credits scene.
100%. Yeah, it just doesn't fit. It almost felt like a Sony post-credits sequence where it's like they didn't... No one knows what they're actually doing. They just shove stuff in. But this
they're
was
like,
shoved
hey,
in...
Carnage, it's coming.
Yeah, right. So then anyway, so you watch this movie, you get this added-on ending. But then there's another sequence coming. Post-credit sequence. Spoiler alert.
My man shows up. My man, Kelsey Grammer, getting work. Go, Kelsey Grammer!
So...
Why?
We know that the X-Men are coming, but is this the way to do it?
No, absolutely not. No. The Doctor Strange one was fine, because it was... I mean, I guess this is also an alternate universe. Like, that's what they say, that Photon falls into another universe. A universe where Maria Rambeau is both binary and with the X-Men.
Right.
All right.
I know. It doesn't...
We didn't need this. Deadpool 3's coming. That's when you bring everything to, like...
Right.
Like, even if in that movie itself, it's not bringing the X-Men into the MCU, that movie's post-credit scene is when you do...
Yeah, I know. Well, here's the thing is, and I don't really speculate too much or read, whatever, but I have a feeling that because we know Hugh Jackman's going to be Wolverine and Deadpool, I'm going to assume that is going to either be the wrap-up of the old Fox X-Men universe, right? Mm-hmm. Or it's going to bridge into the new... X-Men and Marvel. I don't know. Or maybe they'll just use that to wrap it up and then just start fresh later. But the thing is I think at this point the problem is we've already had Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. DC already shot themselves in the foot with Michael Keaton as Batman, which should have been huge, but it wasn't. And now Doctor Strange already did Professor X and Reed Richards and all this. So now we're on like the third, and plus Into the Spider-Verse. So this is already like the fourth or fifth multiverse thing we've seen from Marvel and DC, and it's just such a tired cliche at this point. Like, what else can they possibly do, right?
Well, what's unfortunate is in the Spider-Verse itself, it works because all of those universes are contained together. That's the Spider-Verse, right?
Right.
And the plot of that movie is the Spider-Verse.
Right.
Like, the plot is that there's spider people all over multiple universes. So, like, we started on a basis that multiple universes exist, and that is a plot driving part of this universe. These DC and Marvel, like MCU multiverses, is like, what can we cram in here that you've already seen that you like?
Yeah.
That we can just shove back in here. And, like, I'm so sorry, Kelsey Grammer. I don't want to see you as Beast again. I love you, and I love your Beast, but why?
Well, yeah, that's a good question. I mean, granted, what's it called? What's his show? Frasier. Frasier is back this year, revived. Not that I don't watch it, but...
That's insane, too.
What's that? That's insane?
Just like, yeah, it's like, oh, remember Frasier?
I know.
We're just making more.
I know.
No.
I know.
I could just watch Frasier.
But they're doing that with everything, right?
I know!
It's ridiculous. Yeah, they just bring everything back.
You know how many characters there are in the Marvel universe? Mm-hmm. Why do we need 6 versions of one?
Oh, I know.
Like...
And the thing is we already know X-Men's coming, and they've already done X-Men. It would have been a bigger deal if it was like Blade or somebody. Like, just somebody we did not see coming from a million miles away, right? But
yeah,
okay, it's Beast.
like a new character that like. Are we supposed to assume that this is the universe, like the Fox X-Men movie universe, or is this a different one? Just Kelsey Grammer's Beast and Boast.
Right.
I.
You know what the other problem is I love the show WandaVision, but you remember when they brought back Quicksilver?
Awful.
And it was like, because the cliffhanger was good, but then everyone, I remember I guessed it on full volume with Jolie and Brent. And Brent was like, well, obviously this means that the Fox universe, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, I don't think so, Brent. I think this is going to be a lot less. Dumber than you think it is. And sure enough, it was. It was just, his last name is Boner. Remember, wasn't that it? It was like...
Ralph Boner.
Yeah, and that was the joke.
Boner joke.
Yeah, that's the... They had the entire Western world enthralled by this cliffhanger for a boner joke. And so, again...
Because they didn't think that far into it. They didn't think the end of it.
Right.
They just were like, what if we bring the other Quicksilver in? Because you know him, and that's cool. Mm-hmm. And I think that was... Like, I liked that show, and I think having that ruined it. Like, it definitely hindered the story.
It was a blot, yeah. Mm-hmm. If they would have used it to actually tie in the Fox X-Men thing, it would have been very cool. Even just a hint of it. Like, even if he was only there for 10 minutes and then he gave like a little vague hint that he was the real Quicksilver, but then he disappeared. They could have somehow tied it into her hex power, right? Or something.
And then Kitty Pryde going through Days of Future Past stuff, right?
Right.
Like we always figure it out. They could have just cast the guy who was Quicksilver in the Avengers movie and had him come back for a cameo, and it turns out it's just a manifestation of Wanda's powers.
Right.
Like, to then influence her.
Right.
It was sloppy, and it was lazy, and I'm getting tired of being pandered to. It was cool with Spider-Man, because it was Spider-Man. And I don't think Marvel understands that Spider-Man is different. And he's the only one who is allowed to do that.
Well, it's also the fact that Spider-Man came back in a Spider-Man movie. Whereas in this, the Beast...
About Spider-Man.
Yeah, the Beast came back in a movie about Ms. Marvel and Captain Marvel and Monica Rambeau. And it just didn't fit at all. At all.
Yeah, and at least in Doctor Strange 2, the X-Men cameo, it was in the plot. It was I know this is an after-credits scene, but like the point of the cameo of the alternate universe was in the movie and not just like out of the movie. So like, are we going to get an X-Men movie in this universe where Maria Rambeau is binary and Kelsey Grammer is Beast? Or is this just like a one-off, this universe exists?
Right.
Because obviously Photon is trapped in this universe.
Right.
I think that end credit scene should have just had her mom as binary. And it's like, oh, this alternate universe, her mom got the powers instead of Carol.
Sure.
Cool.
That'd be something, yeah.
At least would be related to the movie at all, because it's her mom.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, it's a thing that I remember from 10, 20 years ago, so put it in.
You know what? Now that you mention that, okay, so she wakes up in this other universe, and her mother is binary. Maybe if they would have had another throwback to... Because anyone who knows binary would also know other characters from that era, right? So maybe there's another... Maybe it was Longshot. Not Longshot, but someone...
Yeah!
Like someone from...
Rogue?
Yeah, somebody. Like I was going to say Rogue, but... Someone who's never been around before. So at least you go, oh my god, this is early 80s X-Men, right? Or something.
Yeah, that could have been...
Or something like that.
Dope.
Yeah.
But... I don't think that they thought that far ahead.
No.
I think maybe they were in talks with Kelsey Grammer to come back as Beast for something. So they're like, let's just use him.
Yeah.
Maybe they filmed that, like, 2 weeks before the movie came out.
Oh, that's entirely possible. I mean, you know about the famous post-credit sequence. Actually, it's not even the post-credits. You know about the last 10 seconds of The Flash, right? Have you seen that yet?
I did watch it. What happened?
Remember?
Oh, with George Clooney.
Yeah. I thought that was really good, but it's also possible that was filmed a week before the movie premiered, right?
After they did all their testing and the movie was fully done and everyone's like, this is stupid.
Yeah. Okay, let's get George Clooney, pay him $1 million to show up for 5 minutes of acting.
And makes no sense. And ruins technically the ending of the story because he didn't make it back to his unit.
Sure. Like, no, but I gotta say, though, I did like it, though. Because it works in that universe. Like, it's Batman, right? So at least it works. But this is totally out of left field.
Yeah. And I mean, like, we've been talking about an after-credits scene for a while. And I'm still mad about it.
Yeah. It was bad. That's the thing is, like, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm mad about a lot of things that they did in this movie because I love these characters so much and they're so important to me. And I know that doesn't give me a right to, like, ownership over it or anything, but I think it wasn't given a fair shot. And then to just tack on the X-Men at the end and expect me to jump out of my seat and be like, oh my god, Kelsey Grammer. No.
It was bad. Yeah, I was not... I would say most post-credit sequences, I'm kind of like, even, what's her name? Charlize Theron as Clea.
Clea?
I was like, oh, that's, at least something. But this is one, I think this could be the worst post-credit sequence I've seen. The most angering. Right?
Yeah, there was this, and then the Eternals post-credit scene was pretty... stupid too.
Which one was that? Oh, the Black Knight?
Black Knight. And then someone off screen goes, time to get to work. And then we have to find out in an article written like 10 hours after the movie was posted that was the voice of the guy who they cast as Blade. And I'm supposed to know that.
That's...
Because like he's...
Yeah.
I don't know that actor's voice off the top of my head. Right. And also Blade's not in anything yet.
Yeah, and Blade's not tied to Black Knight or to Eternals, so it... See,
yeah, why?
Right, that makes... Yeah, that was almost as bad, you're right.
I think that one was worse because at least Monica Rambeau was in the post-credit scene for this one.
Yeah, good point. So this is the second worst post-credit sequence ever. Okay.
Congratulations.
Oh, boy. So, I don't know what else there is to say. Oh, boy. What can happen next? What would you like to see happen next with Carol Danvers?
Literally anything. Just give me anything. I don't care anymore. Like, we've already destroyed the MCU. I know this is audio only because you can't see me do air quotes. And I'm sure that they'll be fine. And I'm sure that they'll figure it out after this. But, like, I don't know. I would love to see her relationships with these characters that she's supposed to have connections to actually developed. I would love to see her appear in Ms. Marvel Season 2 as, like, a mentor figure to Kamala, as something. Mm-hmm. And now she's back on Earth, right? So that's totally possible. I would love to see her develop more of her, like, connection back to her home, because she's been traveling this whole time. More kittens. I don't know. I like Brie Larson's Captain Marvel a lot. I think it's really, really cool and well done. And I don't think she's been given a fair shot. And then also the internet hates Brie Larson for some reason. Mm-hmm. And that's also not fair. And
no,
I liked this movie. I had a good time. And I also realized that it's very flawed. But I don't think it deserved the vitriol that it received. No. Especially the, like, actors' performances and things like that. And... do I believe it's a little bit of sexism? Absolutely. Nope. Ant-Man was way worse than this.
Yeah, right.
Ant-Man was a worse movie than this. And some people were saying that that's the end of the MCU, but this movie got so much just disturbing hate. I could not look up anything about this movie without just seeing comments after comments of just the nastiest comments about things. And the movie wasn't even out yet. Right.
Yeah.
So,
agreed.
Is there a problem with Disney and the MCU? Absolutely. Is this movie proof of that? Absolutely. Is there a huge problem with the fans? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't understand why we can give other movies a chance and we couldn't give this one a chance. I don't understand why... I mean, I actually do understand why. And I know it's because the internet hates women. But this also, like, why wasn't this movie given the 6 rewrites that all the other Marvel movies were given? Obviously I know there was a strike, but, like, that paused production, stopped production.
Well, I think there was rewrites. I don't know the full backstory of this, but I don't even know if the strike affected this because I think the movie was already done, wasn't it?
Was it done?
I think it was, as far as I know, yeah. But
I feel like it wasn't given the shot that maybe the other ones are given.
Right, that's definitely true. Oh boy, I don't know. So what's next? What's the next thing on the docket for Marvel? I don't even know. What's the next TV show?
Shit. Well, you need to watch Loki season 2.
Yeah.
That's actually very good.
Okay.
And genuinely very engaging, and Tom Hiddleston is fantastic, obviously, and Owen Wilson is also very fantastic. That whole ensemble cast is amazing, and that's a show that is contained in itself, but also exists in a bigger universe, also has consequences for the bigger universe, but it's just those characters, that show. That's what it's about.
Okay.
It's very good.
All right. I think I know what's next. I think it's Echo.
Oh. Okay.
Not interested.
She was in Hawkeye, right?
Yeah.
I like Echo's character in the comics. I think she's cool. Her relationship with Wilson Fisk is very interesting. It would be interesting to see that come out. Do I think that needs to be the next show? No.
No.
I don't know why. I feel like the MCU is setting women up for failure, because then they're like, oh, we're gonna do a whole show about Echo. Well, okay, is it really cool though? But like,
you know, I think this could be the first property about a character not, when I say, okay, not created by Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and Steve Ditko, but I was going to revise that because Carol Danvers was not created by Stan Lee. She was created by, I think, Jerry Conway or something. But Ms. Marvel is connected to Captain Marvel. And I guess my point is that Echo is a very, like, in the Marvel history, very late in the game, right?
Well, so is Miss Marvel, even though she's
connected
to Carol.
But sure, okay, that's true.
Like Kamala.
Okay, that's
like
a good
Kamala
point.
Is Miss Marvel.
Okay, that's true.
Kate Bishop.
Okay, but
these are all. I just think like these are characters that are coming off of they're like legacy characters, right?
Sure.
So there's no Kamala Khan Miss Marvel without Captain Marvel. There's no Kate Bishop Hawkeye without Clint Barton Hawkeye. Echo and Kingpin's relationship, I feel like, is very heavily influenced on Daredevil. So maybe Daredevil comes first?
I don't know if... No, Echo is coming out...
no, I mean, like, maybe Daredevil should come first.
Yeah, you're right, because it's a spin-off of Daredevil.
I mean, maybe it's gonna be good, right? I don't really... Secret Invasion was not good.
Right.
I don't...
What's
the next movie?
The next movie is...
Captain America 4?
Deadpool.
Oh, well, that's probably gonna be fine.
Yeah. To be fair, the creator of the Echo TV show did work on Better Call Saul, and that was good, so... Oh,
that's a fantastic show.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a lot more high... And I like Echo as a character. I think she's really interesting. So, and obviously the guy who plays Kingpin is fantastic.
Yeah.
So you know what? Maybe it'll be great. Maybe, and then especially if it only crosses over vaguely with other properties. Like if we've got Daredevil in there, sure, but that's it.
Right.
Like, I just want to know, I want a small story. Like, can we just stay in Hell's Kitchen? Just for, like, once.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That's one of the reasons I love Daredevil, you know?
Yeah.
It's just very small scale, yeah.
And I think that's why maybe the Hawkeye show works as well as it does. It's because it's like, they're just in this little pocket of New York for most of it, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it's just literally Clint's problem. I'm tired of the world ending.
Also,
I don't think it will. I don't think the world is going to end in Echo by any stretch of the means. So we might have it. You know what? It's probably going to be fine.
But also,
it can't be worse than Secret Invasion.
That's true. I only watched one episode of Secret Invasion. I couldn't get past that. But
Oh yeah.
The interesting thing is Deadpool 3 is actually the only Marvel movie coming out next year. Can you believe that?
Did everything else have to get pushed?
I don't know if it's been pushed or if it's just like they planned it that way, but Captain America Brave New World is February 14th, 2025.
Well,
so
I don't know if it was planned that way because, like, originally Captain Marvel was supposed to come out before Secret Invasion. Like, Captain Marvel was supposed to come out in February of this year.
Okay.
Originally.
But there were there was 3 Marvel movies this year. Next year there's only 1. That's just surprising, you know?
Yeah, I think more of them, they were supposed to obviously be more
right,
like the next year, but it's just not. I'm trying to find a list of the order of releasings and things.
I've got a list here. I'm looking at Phase 5 here. Coming up. Wait, where's Phase 6? That's what we're looking at because we already know Phase 5. Phase 6 is going to be, Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts, Blade, Avengers: The Kang Dynasty, Avengers: Secret Wars. No mention of X-Men yet. That's surprising.
Yeah.
They're taking their time.
Yeah, they say Fantastic Four is supposed to come out in May 2025.
Yeah.
They haven't said anything about that. They don't have a cast, as far as I know. The internet seems to disagree.
Sure, yeah.
But the internet has also said that everyone and their family and members have been a Fantastic Four cast member at any given time.
Right.
And, I mean, unfortunately, for the Fantastic Four, I don't have high hopes for that movie, just based on its previous ones.
Well, I'm not gonna hold that against them because it's in new hands, but we'll see.
Thunderbolts, sure. You know what? I do really like Yelena Bolivia, so Blade, you know what? I do want to see that guy play Blade.
Yeah,
finally.
Mm-hmm.
I like Blade. Blade's cool. I don't care about Kang. Also, like, how are these movies supposed to set up Kang so much?
That's probably going to change. I think they're going to drop Kang. That whole thing is going to change. We'll see, though.
I mean, it'd be very easy to, but it also is very easy to recast him.
Yeah.
But they could just drop it and just be like, you know what? These next couple of movies don't really have a big overarching.
Well, the problem with recasting him, though, is that not only is that actor, not only has he played Kang, he's also Ramatut, and he's Scarlet Centurion, and he's what's the other name for him?
A Scarlet.
No, Centurion. I just said that. But remember the He Who Remains. Oh yeah. So it's not like they have different actors playing all. It's like one actor. So to recast him, it screws up everything. But whatever. But we'll see what happens, right? But here's the thing: we could talk about this all night, and hey, maybe we will, but probably not. But we should probably wrap it up because we're almost getting to be as long as the movie now with this review.
Oh, a whole hour, eh?
But yeah, we will definitely be back for Aquaman. What's the subtitle of Aquaman? The Lost Kingdom?
Something. He's got a baby now.
All right, there you go.
But also, Mara's not in it for not any specific reason.
Yeah.
She's just don't look at it. Don't worry about it.
All right. So there you go.
Why would they make that movie?
Anyway, okay. Thank you for joining us here on Comic Book Syndicate. Be sure to join us for every episode of Taped Crusaders, where we review old superhero movies, as well as, what's the other one? Slam, where we go through every single DC superhero in history. And then there's also the Comic Book Syndicate, which covers all the current superhero movies. And Quasar Chronology, which goes through 80s Quasar comics. So I want to thank Bex Luther for joining me.
You know, I'm always ready to talk about Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel for way too long.
All right, good. And then hopefully you can bring that energy to our Aquaman 2 review. So we'll see you in a few weeks.
Is there going to be Cats the musical in Aquaman 2?
I don't think so. Maybe, maybe not. We'll find out. Okay. All right, we'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.